common identity owned by danger, hard work, and an enthusiasm for their own pastimes. One of their favourite hobbies is breeding racing pigeons.
Good morning people, finally it's arrived. It's the 1st of February at last, and therefore the first day of fishing on the River Tyne. And because I want the River Tyne to be very kind to me this year, I'm going to treat it to the best. What better offering to the spirit of the Tyne could there be than a bottle of Newcastle Brown Ale? So, cheers River. Now if that doesn't excite the spirit of the salmon, I don't know what will. So, cheers. Conditions today actually aren't too bad. It was forecast 30-mile-an-hour winds. It's a bit breezy, but it's certainly not as bad as it was meant to be. There's probably a few showers on the way, but that's fine. And the level and the colour of the river is pretty damn good, to be honest. Now admittedly, I don't have exceptionally high expectations here. I do believe this search for a springer is gonna take a while. The water that I'm fishing is the lower reaches of the River Tyne, and it's not the most productive stretch that I'm going to be fishing, but it's still the Tyne and still the fish have got to come up through here. Now normally what happens is the fish just scoot right through this water and go up to Bywell, but you know, you never know. You've got to be in it to win it, and if you haven't got a fly in the water, there ain't no way you're catching a springer. So let's just give it a whirl, eh? Cheers, Carla. So I'm done up like a kipper here. I've got more merino wool on me than merino sheep. I'm enjoying the extra space that I've got for getting into my gear. It's so much more spacious in here than the other van. So here I am, I'm in position. I've got my special police issue riot waistcoat on, and I look like I mean business. So yeah, here we go, here's my setup. I've got my 13'6", 8/9 weight Hardy ultralight. I've got the Cascapedia reel, which is waiting to be christened. I've got a slow sink tip on. I would have an intermediate sink tip on, but I haven't got it with me. It's in my other van. Then I've got 4 feet of 15-pound Maxima. Again, I would have 18-pound Maxima on if I had it with me, but I haven't. And then I've got this plastic willy gun type tube. I'm going quite conservative on the fly choice, really. I've upped my game on the hooks this year. I've gone for some Partridge size 10 doubles. They're a lot better quality than what I've been using in the past. So this year I've got no aspirations to catch numbers of salmon. What I want to do is catch one springer. That's it, that's my only objective. And I don't care how many days it takes me. I've just had a fish on and off there. Phew, what was that? I don't entirely know what that was, to be honest. Don't think it was a trout. In fact, it wasn't a trout. It was a. Would it be a kelt? Yeah, I think it's a brownie. Wow, I've got a fish. Yeah, little guy, we'll get you off soon enough. Ah, you're a beauty, aren't you? Look at that guy. He's long and lean. Well, I hope you get a good season ahead of you, kidder. There you go. There you go. Oh well. Ah, spring. How welcome you are. Anyway, here we go. Operation Springer, attempt number 9 million. So as I'm finding out in my first season of spring fishing, it's definitely a test of patience. Looks good today the river though. It's very sunny, but it is what it is. But the water height, the water's actually really good. It's had a little rise, just a nice little rise. Come on, Carla, good girl. Come on, Carla, keep the faith. So it's about a metre on the gauge, and there was a fish caught at Bywell. So where I am at the moment is the Federation water directly below Bywell. So what I'm finding out is that by being a member of a fishing club or an association, or in my case the Northumberland Anglers Federation, it's really good to learn the water, because you know it gives you constant access to water, and you can fish it at different heights, you can fish it in different conditions, and it's really good for your education. The rewards might not come straight away though. I imagine, believe it or not, there might be like people more inept at salmon fishing than I am, and when you start out it must be really frustrating. Like, I mean, I certainly found it an extremely frustrating business, and this spring campaign of mine that I'm up to here, it's sort of reminded me of what it was like last year, when I was starting to lose all hope. So I think we're going to have to adopt real spring tactics here and get right down. There's quite a flow in the river, so it's going to need quite a heavy sinking tip and quite a heavy fly. I'm loath to fish in heavy tube flies if I can help it, but obviously conditions dictate that today. I like the look of this guy today. Pretty strong breeze that. Here we go, Operation Springer continues. Operation Springer, attempt number 59. Well, we're out again. It's attempt number, who knows how many now. Here we go, Operation Springer, take 959. So here we go, it's attempt number 975 at Operation Springer. Still no fish to report. Okay, so at this point in the film, I think we're gonna have to take a pause. As you've seen, I've been trying like a maniac to catch a spring salmon and it just hasn't worked out for me. And now it's summer, and I'm trying like a maniac to catch a summer salmon and it's not working out for me yet either. So, like I say, I think we're just gonna have to take 5 minutes here and let's just look back. So over the season thus far, I've fished on the Northumberland Anglers Federation water many times. I've fished at Dilston, I've fished at Bywell a couple of times, I've fished the River Whitara, I've fished the River Cogat, the River North Tyne at Bellingham, at Chester's on multiple occasions. I've fished the River Findhorn, I've fished the River Eden, I've been north, south, east and west trying to find a fish and I just haven't had one. Now it did get to a point where I was starting to ask myself an awful lot of questions. I must be doing something wrong, surely, you know, because I understand that a lot of the time you're not fishing over fish, especially early in the season. But this lack of success is starting to get to me, so I think I'm going to have to change my approach. Back in February, at the beginning of the film, as you saw, I made an offer into the River Tyne. I gave it a bottle of brown ale, and I thought that would appease the river spirits more than anything else. I think I clearly didn't make enough of a sacrifice. I didn't make enough of an offering to the river, and I'm going to have to ask the spirits of the river for some help here, because this really is starting to get to me now. It's been a long time. It's been a considerable expense of time and money and a lot of commitment, but anyway, I'm not the type to give up, but I am definitely the type to change my methods when they're not working. So let's begin the preparations of the sacraments. Cheers, salmon. To you and your good health. I almost forgot, the spirit of the salmon really likes beans. And the spirit of the salmon also likes mustard too. That's for you, River. That is for you. Yes, yes. I think it's another sea trout. I see another one because, oh, my heart's going now. Because I've already had one fish today. I was fishing as a guest, somewhere where I couldn't film. And yeah, so I had another fish. I had a nice sea trout of like 6 pounds. Now we had to keep it because it was bleeding out. But to be honest, I was quite happy to keep my first sea trout anyway. A sort of rite of passage type of deal. Again, this took the dropper. This morning's fish took the dropper too. So God has answered the telephone at last. And this isn't a fish of 1,000 casts, this is a fish of about 1,000,000 casts. It's okay, buddy, I'm going to sort you out soon and get you back in the water. Wow, it's absolutely rock solid, this fish. It's well muscular. And it just took the tiny little red Francis dropper fly. There we go, the fly's out. Here it is. Here's the quarry I've been after since February. I've watched the river change entirely. I've watched seasons come and go. We're now into mid-July and it's taken me this long to catch the fish. Yeah, I'm so pleased to have finally got one. And I'm so pleased I'm going to be able to watch it swim away. This fish is well ready to go. You're not messing around. See you later, bud. Nice to have met you. That's good. So this is quite the wonderful meal, and I hope it's a fitting end to my spring fishing campaign. Ultimately I was unsuccessful, so obviously the idea was to get out there and catch a Tyne springer fresh off the tide, covered in sea lice. It didn't happen, so I certainly tried. I fished and fished and fished and fished and fished from opening day. I tried to get in tune in the river, I tried to get in tune where the fish were, or where they would be, or where I thought they would be, but like I said, just nothing worked out, and I was thrashing away, and I didn't realise it was going to be this hard, I must admit. When I hung up the rod last year, I didn't think it was going to be this long before I caught another fish. It's been a right old endeavour. I fished all over the Tyne. I fished all over the country as well, by the way. I fished north, south, east and west, trying to find a spring fish, and I've travelled a fair few miles to get one. And yeah, well, it eluded me this time. But, you know, at least I got a fish off the Tyne. It might not be a 20-pound sea licer, but you know what it is. That fish I caught yesterday, I welcomed as much as any fish. It's been such a long time since I've had one on, or so it feels anyway. Those people that go out there and go for like really long, dry, barren spells without catching a fish, fair play to you. If you keep going, just fair play to you, because it takes a lot. You end up doing a lot of soul searching. I got to the point where I thought I was questioning all of my methods. I thought, am I fishing too fast? Am I fishing too slow? Am I fishing too deep? Am I fishing too high in the water? Am I using the right line? Am I using the right flies? Literally, I question everything. I think it's a case of that, like, a lot of people have struggled this year. It's been a really, really poor spring run, as by all accounts, although there certainly are some anglers who've been successful so far this year. But you know what it is, those are the anglers that are successful every year, that know exactly what to be on the water, and they've got it as much as it's possible to have worked it out. They've got it worked out. To the casual like me, it was a real struggle. But anyway, I kept away and kept away and kept away, and eventually, look, I've got a fish. Like I say, it's not the most impressive fish, but it means a lot to me because I've really, really tried. I'm definitely better casting than I was when I started, so that's something good that's come out of it. And I do feel like I've got a better understanding of the river itself and where the fish might be. And once we got to the point in the season when the fish started to turn up and I started to be able to anticipate where they were going to be, I was seeing fish. At that point it got even more frustrating, because once you start seeing fish and you can't hook a fish, then it's like, that's really hard to take. Especially that day I had a Chester's when I was fishing every pool, and I just, for love nor money, I could not hook one. I think part of the problem was that I'd lost my belief, so I went that long without touching anything. I lost the belief that it was actually possible. Especially in the early part of the season, I wasn't fishing particularly productive water, and I really was hoping for a miracle, really. And I think I've learned my lesson. I certainly won't be out there chasing unicorns next spring. There are a couple of places, there is one river in particular I've got in mind to focus my efforts. So I will be spring fishing, but only in a much more limited way. Anyway, thanks to Derek. So Derek cut me out on his club water, and that was where I caught the first fish of the year. So that was the sea trout that I'm eating now, and it's stunning, by the way. It tastes absolutely amazing. So I'm going to stop waffling on and get it eaten and do it justice, because it really is quite the meal, this, I have to say. Sea trout is one of my, actually sea trout probably isn't to me nicer than salmon, and I love salmon. I absolutely love salmon. Now, I don't eat salmon. I don't eat farmed salmon on principle, because I figure that, you know what, there is a problem with sea lice from salmon farms, and no doubt about it, that it might not be the only contributing factor to the decline in the salmon runs, but it's certainly a factor. And I figure that, you know what little I can do is I can boycott that and not eat it. So as a result, I haven't been eating any salmon at all. I kept one small grill last year, and I ate that. And that was the only salmon I've had for a couple of years. So this is a real treat to eat this. The sea trout population on the east coast, or certainly in the northeast coast, seems to be quite healthy. I live next to the sea, and I walk my dog on the beach every day, and I always see, all year round, I always see sea trout, and I've seen with my own eyes the quantity of fish that actually have been running the Tyne, even though conditions haven't been ideal. You know, people see a sea trout run on spit, and certainly at night time I've seen them running in big numbers, and when I've been out fishing, it's mostly sea trout that I've been seeing. On the east coast we don't have salmon farms. On the west coast we do have salmon farms. On the west coast they've had a complete collapse of sea trout stocks. On the east coast we're still quite healthy, so you know, do the maths and put that together and work it out as you so will. For me, it means that I don't eat farmed salmon. Okay, it's not a huge fish, but it's a big enough fish for me to want to catch it. So I'm back fishing with my Hardy rocket line, which has got all those connections which are horrible. But I've really enjoyed casting it today. Come back over there, mate. Come on. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. Oh, nearly had you. Oh, nearly had you. Oh, okay, we need a longer net. Oh, no, we don't. Just don't be a fanny. Come on, Rob, don't be a fanny. I need to extend the net. Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Get in the bastard net. Oh, got him. Got him. Oh, thank Christ. Oh, thank Christ, it's a salmon. Oh, thank you, Lord. God answered the telephone after 2,000 million billion rings. Oh, goodness me, you're a nice fish. Nice to see you, buddy. Nice to see you, buddy. Right, we're going to sort you out. I think the flies come out, which is nice. And we won't mess him around, we'll get him on his way. I think I'll just take a little picture of you, if you don't mind, mate. Oh, I'm happy to see you. Absolutely delighted to see this guy. You know what? It really has taken some time to catch this fish. I really wanted to catch one on the Northumberland Anglers water, and I did it eventually. So this is where I started the season. I might end it here. It's been emotional. There we go, my friend. Take a minute, I'll need to get in along. There you go. Oh, get in. It's only taken 8 months or something. This is how long I've waited for a Tyne salmon, but I've got one in the end, and you know what? It's worth it. Fishing, it's not as easy as it used to be, there's no doubt about it. Hopefully it's just a bad year. I know that some other anglers have caught plenty, but I think most of us really have struggled. So if you've been out there struggling as well, fair play to you, keep going, and hopefully you'll have one of those moments, because when you do catch a one, it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
Don't know where, don't know where.